Hi, lovely ones, welcome back. So for this segment, we have just done, if you follow the recent one, we just did some active postures. And now we're going to go into more of a meditative relaxation. It could be your shavasana for the practice, but also consider that if there is excess kapha, there is a resistance to move naturally. And so it may be appropriate to do this first. Because here in the shape that I'm going to put you in, we're going to prop up the back of the thoracic spine so as to open the chest. And then in that way, you in a very passive place begin to receive the stimulation. Prana, here is udana prana, the air that moves up and out, to, and also vyana, vayu, the prana that moves from the center to the periphery, to begin to invigorate you to then maybe go into a practice. But in the way that we are going to do it is to restore the body from the physical practice so that then you can go about your day living it fully and not contracted, but expanded and not stagnating, but moving. Good? So take your blanket and fold it up in this way. If you are unsure as to how to do that, is take, if the blanket was folded like this, open it up in this way, and then just roll it up like this. And then place it at the 1/3 area of the mat or so. And then go ahead and just take a seat facing that way. Good. And then from here, take your forearms onto the ground. Forearms onto the ground. Good. Find your sternum. So your sternum is a very important spot for kapha in excess. Broaden that sternum plate. Lift that sternum plate as you lie down. Now go ahead and take your arms to either side, like bent cactus style. Good. Now it's important here that you're really super comfortable. So if there's strain on the lower back, I would invite you to bend the legs. Would you do that for a moment just so that we can show it? And then now with the legs bent, yes, did you see how he just naturally lifted the pelvis a little bit? Go ahead and lift your pelvis, broaden, spread, and then come back down. Good. How is this on your neck? So you want to take a moment to lift, and actually, why don't you do this as well? Bring your hands to the back of the head, lift it up gently, and then place it back down. So the head is nice and free. There's no strain. If there were strain on the back of the head, then you would put another pillow underneath the head. Okay? And if this felt like too much, then you would just undo the roll halfway and use a thinner lift. Now, legs bent or straight for you, it's up to you. Just make sure that as you straighten the leg, that the area of the sacrum is still spreading and opening and not contracted. Good. So awareness is really about practicing bringing our attention to where it's worthwhile for us in that moment. So in this moment, we are bringing our awareness to the heart. And you can just physically, you can visualize the area of the sternum plate, or you can visualize the actual beating heart. Bring your attention there. And as you bring your attention to this enlivening, invigorating spot, notice if there's any place in the body where a subtle adjustment may be appropriate. Maybe a little tweaking the hips side to side, or maybe lifting the shoulders up, shimming them side to side for just a moment to release whatever it may still be gripping. And then provided you are comfortable. So now we are looking for comfort. Provided that you are comfortable, I invite you to bring the attention, bring the awareness to the breath. And so pranayam, really the greatest pranayam that we can do is to just allow our attention to rest on the breath, moving at its natural pace, at its natural rhythm, continuing to invite our attention there on the breath. Noticing how it feels moving in and out of the nostrils. Bringing our curiosity into where it goes once it moves into the nostrils. Just being with the breath. And so the breath brings kappa, the recognition that even though the kappa may be very much attached or drawn to heavier, more stabilizing qualities, the breath by its nature, it brings kappa the recognition of lightness, of movement, and of spaciousness. And so here as we sit, using the breath as our vehicle, we come to connect with something that is much more subtle than even our minds can perceive. The ether element, the most subtle, the lightest of all, can restore in the kappa, by just bringing the curiosity to it, can restore in the kappa that sense of wonder that sometimes gets lost in the tendencies of the heaviness of the kappa. A sense of wonder that says, what more is here than I can perceive, that I can experience even in this moment? What more is here for me? And allowing this sense of wonder. To remind the kappa that its earth, that its water is contained within something much bigger. Something much more subtle. And because it's contained within it, it's okay to dissolve, to release its resistance, its need or its tendency to hoard or to hold tightly. It is more willing than to adapt to change. And the more a kappa can adapt to change, the more she can serve the world with her love, her natural love. It is from kappa that we draw unconditional love. Kappa is the mother in that way. The more she's willing to inhabit this greater container, to recognize its place in it, the more she can provide stability, nourishment, and the more the whole can flow. And now I'll invite you to reconnect once more with the heart pulsation or just the area of the sternum, closing the eyes if possible, and just sinking in your awareness into that area of the center, that pulsation of the heart. And envisioning the sun up above you. The sun's rays of light, the fire element coming down upon you. And then on the out breath, sending the sun, the rays of light, of heat of the sun back out to its source. And on the in-breath, bringing the sun back in, letting it warm you, letting it help you transform any stagnation, any resistance. And on the out-breath, sending out that warmth, that heat, those radiant lights back out to source. Breathing in the sun and sending it back out. Steadily warming you up dissolving stagnation, purifying what is ready to be purified. Breathing in and out of the heart. And what is your heart's deepest desire? Perhaps a word comes up for you. Perhaps an image. Our desires, our passions, that which moves us, fuels us to do our work in this world, is ignited by the fire element. So then the kappa, this sturdy container, can have its great abundance of energy begin to be utilized. And with this image or this word close to heart, I invite you to roll onto one side. Go ahead and roll onto the water. Bending the legs first, of course, taking your time. You've been here for a while. And then sliding that blanket off of you and coming back down on the mat into Shavasana once more. So go ahead and lie back down as you're ready. And just taking a little moment here and noticing the effect of the prop underneath you. And truly how invigorating that it is to simply expand that area. So even though you didn't do any movement, there's an opening here. Is that a yes for you? Yeah. So first thing in the morning, when the kappa is in excess and it says, I don't want to go. I am not ready for my day. To do something like this, to prepare for awakening, is a beautiful practice. So as you're ready, rolling onto the side, either side. Yeah. And then using your arms to support you, with the head being the last thing to come up, to come on up. How are you doing? Doing good? Rested? Yeah? Good. All right, dear ones. Thank you so much for sharing this little moment of relaxation with us. We'll take a little bit of time on the next segment just to chat about a concept that would be of benefit for Kapha dosha in excess. So maybe we'll see you there. Namaste.